If you are starting chess, you are in the right place. Let's put Martin together and I will teach you some basic rules and traps as we go. Alright, let's start with the basics. Your first move, control the center. Now we actually have two centers in chess. The small centers that d4, d5, e4, e5, e4, and the bigger center, and which one to also use for support and control and development is this square. C3, c6, f6, and f3. Push a pawn to the center, and actually e4 or d4, either it's okay and you instantly fight for the control this center. Next, you don't bring your queen so quickly, and you focus on your light pieces like knight and bishop, and for most of time you bring out your knights earlier than bishop. And today we gonna try to beat Martin 250 elo by basic rules, and let's start the game. Okay, we start with e4, and he will respond. Uh, we call it Scandinavian defense, and you will see it a lot actually in the lowest elo. And as we said, we fight for the center, and when we push our e pawn, he push d pawn, and now our best move is to take his pawn. Let's see what. Okay, he bring out his queen, and it's help us to attack them by our development. Normally we can develop our knight and attack his queen. He has to move his queen, and we can bring other pieces, but normally I prefer to save this move for when it's necessary. Now we can develop our g knight to f6, and we try to control these center. Okay, he move his b pawn, and he try to fianchetto his bishop, and he bring out his bishop in this way. But we can do a lot of things. We can push our pawn, we can develop our knight, and we can't bring out our bishop because queen is here and capture it. Okay, let's start with knight c3. Okay, he take back his bring back his queen to b7 square, and he blocked his bishop way, and it's a mistake, and now we have to punish him. And how? I think we can't bring our bishop and try to castle as soon as possible. Okay, he moved by his queen third time in this game, and it's a mistake because he can't develop his other pieces and just move his queen and one pawn, and in otherwise we develop our knight and our bishop, and we have a better position. Okay, now what we have to do, um, we can continue our development, but our pieces is under attack. what we have to do? We can put our pieces in central square, which attack the queen and support and defend our bishop. And also we have another purpose. This square we can attack to this square and check his king. Okay, let's start. Okay, he put his queen in f6 and he attacked our knight, and now I think we can take his rook. Okay, now okay, we can develop our queen and attack to this square and also his rook. Okay, but I think it's not important. So okay, now we can take his knight and okay, check and okay, how we can defend? I don't know. It's mate. Done. We destroyed him and round. Okay. Okay, let us start play with Black by Martin, and as we said, we try to control the center and push our central pawn. Okay, he start by d4, and we normally play knight f6 or d5 against d4, and he can play a lot of opening by d4 like Queen's Gambit, London, and some kind of uh, d4 attack. Okay, let's start with knight f6. Okay, he made a mistake and bring out his queen too early, and we try to punish him. Okay, how we can do that? If we bring out our bishop to our knight too early, he can push his pawn and threat our knight, but we have a counterattack and we can play knight b4 and fork his queen, oops, and his pawn. Okay, let's play. Okay, he play knight to d2 versus knight to c3, and normally it's mistake because you block your bishop, and your knight it's not in the central, our big center that we said about that. Okay, now we can open up our bishop to attack. Okay, which pawn is better. If we push d pawn, we block his pawn, and we open our bishop and we can bring his out. Okay, let's play d5. Okay, he play with his queen twice, and it's a mistake, and his pawn is defenseless, and we can attack him and also attack this pawn and fork his king and rook. Okay, he's back, and now do we have any freaky or no? We can develop our pawn and protect our knight, but we can take it. Ouch. Okay, we can push it, and we can now come here and attack his queen again. Okay. Okay. Now I think we can develop our bishop or push a pawn. Okay, a6. Okay. Now he's under attack, and how we can use that, I don't know. Let's open up our bishop. He has to move his queen, and now we can develop our bishop and be ready to castle. Okay, he played by his queen multiple time, and now we are trying to pressure on c pawn. Okay, he sacrificed queen for nothing, and now I think we had some tactics. Sack the bishop, check. Okay, played simple. Okay, he pushes pawn to prevent I don't know what, maybe this, maybe. Okay, how we can improve our position? We have to think about the weak point or weak piece. Let's see which piece is vulnerable. This piece has just one defender, and it's king, and king is not a good defender, and we can bring out center. We put our knight in the central square and open up our king way to h4. Okay, now we can threat to mate him. Okay, add pressure, check. He has to move his king, and now we can make a better square for our knight. Okay, check. No. Check. Okay. How we can mate him? We don't have this square. Let's defend it. We can take his bishop. Okay. Check. Okay. We can take other knight and pin his knight to his king and capture this. Okay. How we can mate him? Okay. First pin his knight to his king. Okay. Check. Okay. Now how we can mate? Okay. Sack the rook. Mate. Okay. It's done and we won. I will continue this series and play with all of these bots to 1000, and I hope so it was useful for you and be enjoyable to watch it. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoy it, please subscribe my channel Chessbug. Thank you.